New York City, 1891. "So, Melinda," Andrew said to his beautiful female companion, "what did you think of the White Company?" They'd just finished a sumptuous meal at Sherry's in New York City at 37th Street and 5th Avenue. Andrew had had filet de boeuf, Melinda poulet en casserole, and both had enjoyed baked Alaska for dessert. Over the hum of soft conversation, silverware clinking gently on china, and the melodious sound of a Schumann quintet for piano and strings, Melinda said, "I love any great adventure novel, and I thoroughly enjoyed The White Company. To me, it's one of 1891's best books. I couldn't stop reading it," she laughed. "I devoured all 3 volumes." On their table sat a low centerpiece of red roses next to a slim lamp with a scalloped shade of frosted glass. Crystal chandeliers glimmered from above, suspended from ornately carved ceiling beams. White triple-armed brass sconces glowed from large scrolled columns. The soft gaslights enhanced Melinda's innocent beauty. Diamonds glistened at her ears, and the beaded pink silk she wore complemented the rosy hue of her skin. Her chestnut hair, swept up with a fringe of bangs in front and tendrils at the sides, shimmered with gold highlights. With every little movement, her beaded gown and earrings twinkled shyly like distant stars in the night sky. She reached for a cut crystal goblet and took a sip of wine. Andrew knew she enjoyed Chateau Lafite Rothschild, so he'd ordered a bottle, but since he rarely drank, he'd only nursed 1 glass through dinner. Andrew Standish, dressed in white tie and tails, was one of New York City's most eligible bachelors, and Melinda Jennings was a lovely, intelligent girl, a graduate of Miss Porter's school and the daughter of a banker. Andrew had met Melinda not long after her debutante ball. He'd called on her once before, although he couldn't remember when. His brother Julian liked Melinda and said she was perfect for Andrew because she was a level-headed girl. But in Andrew's opinion, Melinda could hardly compare to Lavinia Hargraves. Melinda smiled, glancing briefly at the red roses, then, with a well-manicured hand, smoothed the white linen tablecloth. Aside from the delicate bone china coffee cups and matching water and wine goblets, their dishes had been cleared away. "I must say," she continued, "John of Hortel was by far my favorite character because of that sarcastic wit of his. Also, I believe—" As Melinda continued talking, Andrew pretended to listen interestedly. Although beautiful women were at his disposal, he seldom called on the same one more than once or twice, because as far as Andrew was concerned, his heart belonged to Lavinia Hargraves. Andrew realized his eyes had wandered to one of the elaborately carved columns when Melinda said his name. An MIT-educated architect and contractor, he'd been studying the scrollwork while thinking of Lavinia. "Andrew," Melinda said again, slightly annoyed this time. "Yes, Melinda?" He flashed a charming smile. "You were saying?" "I was asking what you thought about the book." "It was a fine work, and very—" Andrew trailed off when he saw Lavinia Hargraves and her husband enter the restaurant. Melinda glanced over her shoulder as Andrew's eyes veered past her. The head waiter escorted the couple to a table. Lavinia was a sheer vision to behold as she strode by the mirrored walls among the admiring gazes, stares, and gasps of Sherry's theater-loving patrons. "Lavinia Hargraves," Andrew said in awe. "Not only is she the greatest actress in New York, she's by far the most beautiful." Her hair was twirled high, intertwined with jewels, and she wore a sequined lavender gown with thick tufts of feathers surrounding her bare shoulders and hemline. "Her dress seems rather vulgar to me," Melinda said. Melinda's shoulders were covered by capped sleeves, and she lacked what it took to create truly breathtaking cleavage. Ignoring her, he said, "My friend Justin Glass, the theater critic, says she's the greatest actress since Sarah Bernhardt. He wrote a glowing review of her last performance here. It was back in November. The Taming of the Shrew. Did you happen to see her in that production?" "I was with you when you saw it. You'd called on me that evening." "Oh, yes, Melinda, of course. Wasn't she magnificent?" Melinda sighed, frowning. "I suppose she was." "I haven't seen her perform since then, and with her spring tour approaching, I won't see her on stage in New York again until May.